Here's the
Yeah.
thing. See, here's the thing, like, because I have like my whole mobile setup at home, so I've been putting it up on like I have a 32-inch computer screen and a TV. So if I put it up on the computer screen or the TV, then like it will fit perfectly.
Mm.
Can you see my screen right now? Do you see the mind map?
Yeah, that shit is crazy.
Maybe that's why I keep getting overwhelmed with it because I'm not looking at it on my cell phone. I can't see just a portion. I'm seeing like the whole
You
thing.
can't zoom it?
I mean, I could zoom it in, but like, I mean, when I was
It's
trying,
not.
like, I don't know, it was just interesting. It's like first I had to figure out where to start it out because okay, so you had sent me a mind map and then you had sent me the footnotes. So I just
I
got
should have put
excited.
the thing on top first. I
Yeah,
should have put the shit on top first. My bad.
because I just opened this and I got excited. Like notably, I should have maybe looked through everything all at once because when I opened the footnotes, it clearly said like, all right, like the green is where you start standing, the yellow is this, the like. But then I was just looking. I was like, oh, okay, like starting from the knee slice, and then you do this and that. Like, so it's kind of easy to pick up like anywhere and just like go down the rabbit hole.
I never looked. You know what's crazy though, Nico? I never thought about it like that. Somebody just starting from different spots. But now that I look at it, like, yo, that's just crazy. Like, damn, I made that. That's just
Has it been so long since that you've been a white belt that you realize like most of the time when people are doing jujitsu, they have no idea what they're doing? It's just like like, so.
Well, that's why I made it. I think in the future, like from now, like when we had this video, I said the green box means start.
Yeah,
So I think it's important that I break down. Now that you have it in front, it's easier for me to explain.
yeah.
So
So it was very
green
clear once
box,
I found the green bot. Like I clearly found like it was the only thing that started from standing. Like I was like, okay, this has got to be the start of the
yeah,
match.
yeah. So green means the start. The gold, well, the yellow, it's actually yellow. The yellow are transitional movements that score. So a knee tap takedown gets you 2 points.
Mm-hmm.
You end up in closed guard. The plain white squares are just the traditional positions: your side control, your mount, your back mount.
This is where
You
I'm
know,
not trying to go. This is
yes,
where I'm trying to go.
yes.
So it's like, all right, so if I go
Purple.
here, I know right away, like I hate closed guard. My closed guard, I shouldn't be putting this out there, but no, so like this is where I want to be. So like I want to, like when I start a match, I want knee tap. I want to go to the knee shield because that's where I feel
Yeah.
like I feel like I could go straight from here all the way to like the red.
And now the color coordination helps too. Look at this. The purple is like transitional movements that don't score. Yellow is like shit that scores. The red ovals are submissions.
All right, so here we go with all the arm triangle and Ezekiel.
And look, like your main three are back cross choke, Ezekiel, and arm triangle.
Yeah, that is very true. That is very true.
But I hooked it up because with the footnotes page, I showed you instructionals are the best way to do them. Hopefully, those were good.
Yeah, true. Because I remember like when you were making this, you were asking me about the arm triangle because I do, and like I had said, like I don't feel like it's a very high percentage move for me. I felt like it's more like a 75 because when people defend, so like the footnotes will really help with that. Where are my footnotes? Probably still in my email. I can bring them up over here though. All right, so when I get like, what is the best way? So I have this mind map, and clearly I could go through mentally a match now and think about what I want to do. But like, how can I use this for training purposes?
All right, so the way I would use it, let's do the easiest transition, like to sparring. Okay, depending on what gym you go to, I know at our gym we always start our rounds on the feet. So if I'm training, and I don't know how much training time you have. Some people have the luxury of training multiple times a day. They can try a whole bunch of new stuff in practice. But I'm assuming that your average jiu-jitsu practitioner doesn't train any more than 3 times a week on average. So if I'm looking at my mind map, and I believe in the philosophy of whatever you do the most of, like, the 10,000 rep rule, perfect practice makes perfect. And if I'm short on time, and I'm a competitor, I want to get good fast, I'm going to only do the techniques in that mind map. I'm going to spend most of my time working to get to those positions and working those attacks so it's all sharp and that all of my opponents, all my training partners stay in my web and don't get out. I like scrambles because I'm athletic, and I've always, my scrambles aren't really scrambles because I've drilled the movements over and over again. So when you look at someone scrambling and they most of the time they win the scrambles, it's because the attacks are still in their web. They're still in their mind map. I'll give you an example, like the Mendez brothers. You notice how they do a whole bunch of crazy stuff and they counterattack? Well, it's not that they just came up with it on the fly. It's that it's a part of their system. You notice how they always end up on the back.
Mm-hmm.
It's always a scramble from what position? 50-50 or leg drag. And then you see them roly-poly, like two cats fighting in the trash can. But more times than not, Alpha Mendez is going to end up on the guy's back. It's because if you go from the beginning of the match, or you look at Hoffa Mendez's matches, what passes do they do? What position do they end up in the most? If you look right now, I would say there are three primary positions are going to be De La Hiva, I think on the left side, 50-50 if they're engaging on the ground, or leg drag if they're passing. And you've seen all their matches where they do crazy stuff,
Mm-hmm.
but what are the three main positions? I promise you, when they're training for Worlds, they're not doing all these matches. All these moves. They're not like all these other mind map or game plan people where, okay, this is all the moves in half guard. No, they are doing leg drag to common counters that you're going to see. And if you look at your mind map, I mentioned common counters. For instance, if someone turns away, what
Yeah.
to do, or what if someone turns into Hoffa Mendez, or if he ends up in 50-50, what disentanglement or what counterattack they're going to do. If you look at their matches, the best only do about a handful of stuff. However, if you ask 99.9% of the people that compete, do you think they have it all written down? Do you think they have it systematized? Do you think they have it broken down into each position and each grip that they have? No. I would bet most of the people even black belt world champions, have never even thought about what they do. And even a smaller fraction have thought about it, and even smaller fraction wrote it down and had it on a chart. So now, if you're a Joe grappler that only can train 3 times a week, you know exactly what's going to lead you to victory if you're competing. You know exactly what to drill. You know exactly what to master. The best of the best, the greatest of all time is Roger Gracie. I can count on my 10 fingers what moves he does. Do you think that makes him more or less dangerous? It makes him more dangerous. Because if you can make the match get into your positions, if you can get the grips you like, if you can get to the attacks that you want, and you can keep your opponent in your system of attack, what do you think they're going to be able to do? They're entirely on the defensive. You are better at your best positions than anybody is at defending them. That's why you can see a guy that is a purple belt beat a black belt. You saw the ADCC, guys with years and years of experience, guys with multiple world titles go against a lower belt or a less accomplished guy. But I promise you, when the lower level guy won, it was because he was in his system. That's why I make my maps for people. I make it easy for them. I take their years of training, I take their plethora of matches, and I watch them. I break it down. I see what works. I put it in a chart. I make it from the start of a match to the end. That's why it's important that when we start the mind map, we start from standing position. Every match starts from the feet. You're not allowed to start a jiu-jitsu match sitting down to your butt. You will get a penalty. So unless you're a guy that says, screw it, I'll get a penalty, go for it. But even if you get a penalty, they stand you back up. So whether you like to pull guard or to pass, it all starts from standing. And from there, we go to the grip, what kind of pull you like or what kind of takedown you like, and that initiates your whole game from beginning to end.
Nice.
Yeah.
So the last question I have is that so especially for like white or blue belts, like you looked at a lot of my footage to make this map, and I know like I religiously take a little camera with me to all of
Mhm.
my tournaments, and I film all of my matches. So I have on YouTube like an unlisted playlist of about 15 of my matches over the last 3 years, because I have always been into like studying my film or having something to send to my coaches. But what about like people that are interested in doing this but don't have their matches? Like what they can they do? And I know now it's a little bit hard because we're in quarantine, so they're also not going to the gym. But what's a good way to get footage to give to you if they don't have matches recorded? Is there an alternative?
Well, well, most of my clients compete a lot in IBJJF for super fights, a lot of them, or have some kind of footage because Flow, for all these major tournaments, they'll post it on their website. Now, I have a Flow account. Even if you don't have a Flow account, I have one, and I can actually look up your footage.
Okay, nice.
In a perfect world, you have footage of your matches, whether they're on Flow or not. I can work around that if you don't. Like if you just have training footage, I can work with that. But if you have absolutely no footage, have no fear. When someone signs up for my virtual coaching program, I send them an email, and I have email correspondence with them. So I ask them questions about their game. I ask them questions about their philosophy of grappling. I ask them about what makes them comfortable in matches or rolling sessions and what makes them uncomfortable. And I do my best through my interview and my email correspondence to figure out what you do. Now, if you're starting from scratch, you don't know what you like, but after the interview, I get information. I can kind of make a game plan for you. And that's why I love making the footnote page for people, because since it's social distancing and since I'm not with you, what I do is I research the best examples of the submissions and positions and attacks that you like to do or you feel comfortable with. Either it's going to be instructional that they have or a match in which I have a timestamp for you of what they're doing and exactly when they're doing it. And I'll type up a description as well. If we're starting from Z, now that's worst case scenario, but I can still make it work for you.
Yeah. I'm looking at mine now. I have like the knee tap with the Jacare versus Verdum. And then it has like this specific like 18 seconds into the video. I want you to focus
Yes,
more on how he finished the grips that he has. So like super specific stuff like that.
yes, yes. And it's good that you're asking me. Like some other places, you'll have you don't really know who's making it for you. But
Mm-hmm.
with my virtual coaching program, you're talking to someone that is a black belt world champion, no gi world champion, a multiple time world champion in the gi for like throughout the lower belts. I've beaten the best of the best in gi and no gi. Like if you look at my BJJ Heroes page, I've beaten several world champions, and there's proof behind what I know. I've been doing jiu-jitsu since 2006. That's 14 years worth of experience and knowledge. Like I pulled up a match of Jacare versus Verdum. That probably has less than 1,000 views on YouTube or whatever,
Yeah.
right? Like I'm a library of knowledge. So I got your footage. Also, if you ever wanted me to break down your matches, I can send match critiques as well. But right now, we're talking about my match. So if you don't have any footage, I can make you a mind map, and it works from white to black.